Awesome. So welcome to our office hours. It's been a couple weeks since we've been live, and so very excited to be here today. So today we're going to go over chatbots and how to create a chatbot. But before we talk about the actual mechanics of creating the chatbot, we're going to talk a little bit about what they are and why it's such an amazing idea for your travel business to have said chatbots included on it. And so for those that don't know me, my name is Sundey Gardner, and we come here 2 times a week to talk all things about setting up, launching, and operating a successful travel business utilizing amazing tools to do such. So today we're going to talk about chatbots. So a couple weeks ago, we talked about actually installing 3 different types of chatbots on your, or chat widgets on your website. And specifically what we're going to focus on today is once somebody has submitted, let's say, their name, phone, and contact information on your chat widget that you've installed on your website, now what? So we're going to talk a little bit about what that chat widget looks like again, but we're really going to set up the automation that happens after that. Because the worst thing that you could do is start talking to somebody, or someone starts talking and engaging with your business and it goes into a black hole. So what we want is there to be an automatic response to the client, and no better way to respond to them like doing it through SMS or email. So in this scenario, we're going to actually create a chatbot that's going to respond upon submission via SMS. And so let's get started. Let's talk a little bit about what you need to have in order to successfully get this implemented inside of your business. The tool that we're going to be using is Travel Per Suite. So if you don't have Travel Per Suite, you're going to want to take advantage of our offer, and the link is going to be below this video to enroll inside of Travel Per Suite. So let me go ahead and share my screen, and let's go through the actual planning document so that we know exactly what we need to do inside of planning for the chatbot. So the first thing is, we always want to start with a goal. You can literally have a chatbot do and communicate whatever you want. So some of the really great use cases for chatbot or auto responses that you can do via a chatbot are booking an appointment, delivering specific content, getting more information from your client. And in this scenario, we are going to select the goal, booking an appointment. If you do not have appointment booking as a part of your workflow in your travel business, you are missing a great opportunity to directly build relationships with prospective buyers. So as a part of our workflow, we actually collect discovery. We collect the travel request process for our fits first, and then we book a discovery call. But the more I talk to you travel advisors, the more that I find that many of you want to go straight to collecting maybe just a few bits of information and straight to the call. And so having a chat bot that responds to submissions with the purpose of booking a call is a really great way to obtain that goal. So first thing is, you want to make sure you have a goal for your chatbot so that you can design it to meet the goal. So what we're going to do is, you do need to actually have some sort of initiation or trigger in place. You can have a chatbot widget, and that will simply, let me actually get my screen up and show you what that looks like on a page. A chatbot is just, you've seen them on websites, and I'm going to bring up a site just so that you can see what one that looks like. I think we've got one that's in demo that I can show you. I actually just have the automation up. I didn't have the actual chatbot. But one of the things that we're doing is we're actually going to build a chatbot in response to a form submission. Great thing is you can build the trigger for your chat bot can be for somebody sends you a message on Facebook, on Instagram, on any one of these sort of chat channels, and then you can respond accordingly. And I'm going to give you an example of what a chatbot widget looks like on a website. I think we have one on our website here. Yeah, let me give you that example so you can see what it looks like. Always love when you do something and you're like, oh, I have all my screens ready, and you don't have the one screen. And I'm sure you guys know what a chatbot looks like, but I just want to make sure that you get a good example of what you can do. I think in the last training I did, we installed a chat widget on our destination form. There it is. All right, so let me just drag that over here. And so you see, this is our sales page for destination, and we have this little chat widget on the bottom. And so if you're looking for training on how to install this on your own website, you can just click on this video. If you're watching this on the replay, we'll make that video available so that you can learn how to install a chat widget like this on your own website. But the idea here is once somebody has submitted their name, phone number, email, and the message, you want to respond immediately with this, and in this situation, we're going to actually we're going to respond with a text message. And so you want to set up your chat widget, or what I'm going to do is you want to also set up integration to Facebook Messenger, Instagram, LinkedIn, all of these other message platforms, because those can also be entry points into booking this appointment that we're going to do for this chat widget, for this chat automation that we're going to do. Second thing is once you set up the chat bot, you want to make sure that you install it on your website. You want to make sure that you've got the entry point set up. So again, if you're going to use social media as your entry point, you want to do that. If you're going to use a form as your entry point, you want to make sure that you have it installed and it's readily available. Then if we're booking an appointment, you want to also make sure that you have your availability. You want to have the specific calendar created. Inside of Travel Pro Suite, we actually have a calendar system, and you can create the calendar. And so I'm going to actually show you what the calendar looks like. Let me bring over the demo account over here. And so one of the calendars that we provide you all when you enroll in our software is we give you two calendars. One is a discovery call calendar and a follow-up calendar. And for this chatbot, what we're going to want to do is actually set up we are going to want to get somebody to book a discovery call with us. And so that calendar is already set up. So that's going to be one of the other things that you want to have already in play, is have the calendar set up and your availability set up. And then you're going to want to think through just kind of what are the automation steps that you want. And so think about a conversation that you would be having with somebody in person. How does that flow? And so what I've done is I used our handy ChatGPT. We actually have some other flows already done, but I wanted to actually just create a very simple workflow for you all to think through. When you're setting this up, the first step is what's that message that you want to have your person who's actually going to fill it out? What is the message? So this workflow is very simple. It's going to just ask a series of questions. It's going to wait for the response, and based on the response, it'll ask another question or give information. And that's pretty much simple type of interaction that you want. So let's take a look at this destination. Like if we have this widget and somebody submits a form here, they submit their information here. We know that this is on our Bali destination. So the conversation that we would want to do would be to have a conversation specific to this particular workflow. The beauty of defining the automation is that you can define your starting point. And we're going to go over that in just a few minutes. And so the objective really in the automation is you want to define it first. I always say before you jump into any software, make sure that you define the steps and what you want to do. Just makes things a lot clearer. You can sort of jot that down. I love starting with a blank sheet of paper. I like to start with ChatGPT as long as I've got the objectives. And so here, this simple workflow that I've created for you all, and you guys will have this in the replay, you'll be able to download this document and utilize this, and also obviously augment it for your own concerns. Our chat bot, we've got our, we've actually implemented this inside of pretty much all of our marketing, and our chat bot is called Robbie. So I encourage you guys to give your chat bot a name, give it a persona, so that when you're writing your messages, I don't ever want to fool anybody and think that they're talking directly to me. So, we actually gave our chatbot a name. So give your chatbot a name. And so when your chatbot is responding, they will use the name. The name will be used. So I just think that's sort of a cute little way to also kind of personalize the automation experience that you're creating for this interaction. So I'm going to go through exactly what the automation covers, and then we're going to go over the time, and then we'll go directly from that into our open office hours. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to have a message, a welcome message. So immediately when somebody submits or the event occurs, this is the message that we're going to send it back to them. Here, what we're going to give is 3 options. We're going to ask them, do they want to book an appointment? You can call that a discovery call or whatever you call it. Maybe you want to let them know about your services. So maybe you've created an FAQ about your services, or you've got some very specific services. Maybe you've got a group trip that you want to promote. You could put that as an option. Do you want to learn more about my group trip? Do you want to speak directly to a representative? Define kind of the conversation paths that your client can go on. Once you define that, then that's going to set the stage for the rest of the conversation. So this is really sort of defining in advance what you want your prospective lead to go down the path so that you can lead them down there. So in this situation, if they've selected number 1, this is going to be the prompt or the conversation that you'll have with them once they've selected this option. So here, if they've selected book appointment, then user selects book appointment, then you're going to give them a message that says that confirms their selection, and then ask them, would they like, what kind of service that they would like. If you only offer one type of booking service, you can just say, instead of asking them another question, you can just confirm and say, would you like to book your design, a custom trip, a custom, we call it a custom design consultation. You can call that whatever it is that you call that. So if you have multiple types of services that you provide and you want to be specific, or you want to create a specific path of conversation around that, you can include them. If you only have one service, you can include one service selection here. If there's only one service, then you're going to skip number 3, and you're going to go straight to giving them the link to book an appointment. If you have multiple services, you're going to want to confirm which service. And if they said no and they want to choose a different option, kind of just sort of send them back to the top. And I'll show you exactly what that looks like in the workflow when we set it up. Here in the appointment scheduling, what we're going to do is, instead of actually booking the appointment, that's going to take a little bit more fanciness than what we have time for in this training. We're actually going to give them the link to our booking calendar so that they can click on the link and book the appointment, and then end the conversation. This way, what happens is it's really pretty short steps, quick interaction. Your goal here is to get somebody booked on your calendar so that you can ensure that your calendar's got new prospective leads going in here. So it's pretty simple workflow. So let's talk about what that actually looks like in reality inside of the system. So again, we're going to be using Travel Pro Suite. I'm going to drag that over here so you can see what that looks like. This is the actual workflow already built, but I'm going to actually build it from scratch so you can see how it looks. So I'm going to walk you through kind of what each of these major steps are. This trigger is whatever is going to get somebody into the workflow. In this situation, this trigger can be something as simple as a chat widget. So this could be contact reply. This could be a widget. I always forget which one this one. I think it's actually customer contact reply. Look to see which option it is. It's going to be, if you're going to actually do the widget instead of a form, we decided to do a form. Go back to the setter and get which input starting type it is. So this is going to be customer replied and the chat widget. So the reply channel is going to be a chat widget. So I'm going to explain to you exactly what the customer replies. So let's actually start from scratch and let's build it so you guys can see in action what this looks like. So we're going to create start from scratch. And this is going to be inside of Travel Pro Suite. And so you're going to get me go all the way from scratch so you know exactly where you're going to start from automation. So you will have already created your chat widget. And now what we're going to do is create a workflow automation. I'm actually not in my demo account, but I'm going to do this here because our SMS is attached here. So we're going to select a new automation. I like to always give automations a name. So we always start at the top. Here, and then the first trigger is what's the starting point. That's simply that's what a trigger is. What's the starting point? What's going to get somebody inside and kick this automation off? And so you've got several options. I'm going to go through these triggers because I think they're really very powerful. You've got a Facebook message. You can do a Facebook comment. So if somebody comments on a post that you've done, you can start this chatbot automation. You can do it on an Instagram post. You can do it on a customer replied channel. This customer replied channel, these events, the types that options that you have here is, let's go to reply channel. So these are the different integration points that somebody could actually send you a message. They could send a message to you via a phone message. They could send you a chat message, email, messenger, through Facebook, Google My Business, or Instagram. And then you also have our live chat, SMS, or WhatsApp. So if you want to create bots for each of these channels, you can do this in the trigger. And for the simplicity of this training, we're just going to select chat widget. And then here you can specifically, let's say they do a they give you a phrase in their message, so it won't be all chat widgets response. Maybe the message in the message says I need help, or the word help is used. You can do that as well. So you know, if the phrase in the message includes help, then this would be the trigger that starts. So that's really important, is always understand when building an automation, just what's going to be the event or action that's going to get somebody inside of it. And then simply what we're going to do is we're going to look at our automation. First thing is we've already defined the trigger. Then the next thing is we're going to actually just copy this message. And this is the message. Now you've got before you several options for types of messages that you want to do. You could do an SMS message. That could be a message type. You could also, here, I'm going to paste that here. And that could be your type of message. You could do an SMS. You could also do an email. You could send an email, and that could be your message type. So here, we're just going to call this test email. And that can be your message type. One of the things that I want to just remind you that when you are writing messages, you have the opportunity inside of Travel Pro Suite to customize or personalize the message by using this tag feature here. So when you click on that, you'll be able to look inside of the system and add personal information about the contact. Since you have the contact's information because they started with the widget, they're already in your system. So we're going to put first name here, and then we're going to think. And then we now have an email. So you can send multiple messages at the same time, an SMS and an email, or you could just do one or the other. And that's what we're going to do here is I'm going to leave these two message types. And then the next step that we're going to do when we look at our workflow is in this, we actually set options. So I'm actually going to copy that because that's going to be part of the message. Because really what I want is the person to respond with the 1, 2, or 3. And then I'm going to actually include that in the please respond. It's going to put those options here. Because again, we want somebody to reply either 1, 2, or 3 in their response because we're going to be looking for that answer when they reply. I'm actually going to put that same thing here in the email. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add a wait statement. The purpose of the wait statement is because what we're waiting for is the client to respond. If they don't respond, we want to then potentially send them another message, the same message, until they respond, or you can abandon after a few days or minutes, however you decide. So the type of wait for is not a timed wait. We're actually going to do a contact reply. And then we're going to actually select which reply we're waiting for. So this path, we're going to select a response for SMS. So we're going to wait. And I also always like to write out when I hear SMS response here. Typically, the way that I've designed this is I wouldn't have 2 messages. I'd probably have an SMS message. And then if they didn't respond, then I would do the email. So I'm actually going to move that in just a second. So we're going to wait for this response for them to reply to the SMS message. And then we're going to look for the type of response that they did. So we're going to do an if-then statement. And then here we're going to, I'm going to say 1, book an appointment. Is going to be the response that I'm waiting for. And I'm going to put contact message, replied message. So the response contains 1 here. And then I'm also going to add a condition because they could respond 1, or they could also respond book an appointment. Some people will respond the full message, not just, so I'd like to be able to cover both of my bases. So I'm going to put book appointment just in case they respond anything like that. Then I'm going to click save because what this is going to do is it's going to wait for a response and it's going to evaluate the response to see if somebody booked an appointment, said book an appointment. They either replied with the 1 or they replied with book appointment. I'm going to also add in this condition my other responses, my other possible responses that a client could get. So instead of having to build this all from scratch, I'm going to actually copy this. I'm going to duplicate this branch and it's going to copy. So just don't have to do it all here. So I'm going to call this one, I think we called it learn about our services. I'm just going to copy that here so I don't have to do that. I have to all of that. And I'm going to put a 2 here because they may put 2, and then I'm also going to put here, and then I'm going to save that action here. So now you see I've got 2 branches. So I sent a message to the client, and now I'm waiting for either a 1 response or 2 response, but I really gave them 3. So we want to make sure our condition includes the 3rd response as well. So I'm just going to copy this again, duplicate the branch, and then what was the 3rd response? Speak to a representative. You call yourself a travel advisor as well, but I'm just going to do this last one here. I'm going to change that to a 3. And then I'm going to click save. Now I've got my 3 branches. So let's say they did not respond, then I'm going to send them an email. I'm going to actually move this action and send them an email. So what this now looks like is somebody submit a response in my widget, and then I sent them an SMS immediately that said, what are they looking for? And then I've waited for them to respond. If they didn't respond, then I'm going to send them an email with the same message, and hopefully they'll respond in email. And then you can sort of take them down the same loop again. All right, so here, now that they've responded, book appointment, what's the next step I want to do? Well, the next step is, it's great. I want to send them a message after they've responded, and I want to let them know, ask them which service are they interested in. So I'm just going to do that here. I'm going to copy that. And then immediately what I'm going to do is, now you can, let's say they've waited and they've responded. Sometimes I like to just add like a wait so it doesn't look so very automated. I'll do like 1 minute. You could wait 1 minute. You can also wait hours, days. Typically, I'll wait 1 minute just so it doesn't look like I'm, completely. You don't have to wait the time, but sometimes I just like to give it just a little bit of time just in case. All right, and then so I'm going to save that, and then I'm going to actually add a SMS. So we're going to do another SMS. We're going to send another SMS, and this message is going to say, great, I can help schedule an appointment with our travel advisor. Know what kind of service you're interested in. And this is also really good. That kind of messaging is good if you've got multiple different calendars. Like I said, one of the things that we provide you with Travel Pro Suite are 2 specific calendars. So you could have as your, instead of asking for service, you could say, do you want to book a discovery call or do you want to book a follow-up call? And based on that, it would then determine which calendar you would give. So that's a way that you can define this piece. So here, once you've done that, and the great thing too is you can also send a message, a test message to yourself so you can see what that looks like here. And then after I've created this message here, you want to ask which one. So what I had mentioned here is we're going to say, which, may know what type of appointment. Here I'm going to say 1 discovery call. All right, and then that will save that action, and that email is done. Now, I am a very big of a stickler with naming things, so I do like this to confirm type of appointment. And the reason why I like to name things is when I'm looking at an automation, I don't have to go back and remember what was this? What was I talking about? And I click save. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to wait for them to respond again. So we're going to wait here and we're going to look for them to respond again. So here we want them to respond to that action. And then based on that, we're going to do another if then statement. And then here we're looking for contact reply. Message reply here, and you can put contains just in case, they put some other stuff here, but we're going to put discovery call. Let's name this what time appointment here, and this branch is going to be discovery call. Then we're going to duplicate this so that we can do the follow-up call. Here, and then we're going to save the action, and now we've got these two branches again. And then really the last thing is that here, what you can do is from here, now you've asked for the services or the call type or the calendar type that they want to do, and then you can confirm, or you can go straight to once they've selected discovery call, go straight to the link. Since it's not a service based that I'm asking in this scenario, it's actually, I just want to know which calendar we need to give them. Here, I'm not gonna confirm the calendar. I'm just gonna say perfect, and I'm gonna go to let's get you booked. I'm gonna say let's get you booked, and I'm actually gonna give them the link to the calendar. Now, in another training, we will go over actually how to connect AI to a bot so that the bot is actually going to book for you. But in this training, we're just going to focus on doing a very simple interaction by giving them a link to the calendar. So here, what we're going to do here is send another SMS now that they've done a discovery, they've selected discovery call, and then let's get you booked. Please use this link to schedule. And then I'm going to include that link right here. So I'm going to just go here and get the link to our calendar. So to do that, we're going to go to calendar, and then we're going to go to calendar settings. And there's actually a couple of ways that you can do this. So if you've got Travel Pro Suite, you can include the direct link to the calendar, or you can actually go to our calendar link funnel page that we've created. So I'm going to actually go there. So within our travel request process, our schedule discovery call is right here. So I'm actually going to copy that link here. And then I'm going to include that link right there. So it actually goes to a page. And then if you go and actually put this in a browser, you can see what that page looks like. So what it does is it has on this page, we already have the instructions and the calendar embedded here, and then they can go straight to this process. And then once we're done here, we click Save Action, and now the person has gotten the booked appointment. There's some advanced stuff that we could do, like we could wait to see if an appointment was booked, and if not, we could send them the link again. Don't have the time to actually show you all of that workflow, but the idea is now we've created an automated way to get somebody on our books without us having to even have a conversation at the time that they've done, at the time that they've created, they submitted a chat widget. There are so many different use cases that you can build a chat bot. This is a simple SMS chat bot. Again, we've got the ability to do AI, so that's actually using artificial intelligence to have an intelligent conversation with the client, excuse me, to have this sort of banter back and forth. You can deliver documents, you can actually have it call you. There's a lot of different scenarios that you can. Listen, as much as the creativity juices in your mind go, is as good and as much of information that you can deliver inside of your chat bot. So whatever you decide, just go ahead and decide and get to creating. So with that, I'm going to open it up for our open office hours, see if anybody has any questions. If not, I will